All right, folks, ready for another Apple release that feels like a Control-C, Control-V job? Seriously, does Apple think we were born yesterday? The iPhone 17 is here, and the burning question is this a bad joke, or has Apple completely lost its creativity? Let's break down what's new with the iPhone 17. If you're an Apple fanatic like me, subscribe and comment on what you think about this release. Let's get into the video. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another video here on the channel where we should be celebrating innovation, cutting-edge tech, the future. But honestly, today, I feel like throwing my iPhone out the window. Not mine, okay? The iPhone 17 that Apple's about to launch. Because, let's face it, every year it feels like we're watching the same play, with the same script, just changing the actors' positions. And each time the ticket gets more expensive.
I have to be very, very honest with you. The leaks about the iPhone 17 are giving me zero desire to trade in my iPhone 16 for the iPhone 17. And if you have an iPhone 15 Pro, my friend, don't even worry, you're extremely well served already. We've been waiting for a wow factor for a long time. Every September, that hope hits, that little flutter in your stomach that this year will be the year when Apple launches something really exciting. Something that justifies the line at the store door. Something that makes us feel like we're investing in real technology. And what do we get? Dynamic Island again? A slightly better chip again? A new shade of blue again? More of the same. It's like Apple has gone into autopilot. Let's start with the design because, it's the first thing we see. In previous videos, we even mentioned that it would change a bit, that the camera would have a different module. But guys, please, what's the point of it being bigger if the functionality is practically the same? Many liked it, many thought it was horrible. I personally thought it was ugly. The new camera module is kind of too big. And what frustrates me even more is that it's not a new design. It's a new camera module. The leaks show a horizontal bar that crosses the top of the device with cameras on one side and the flash LiDAR sensor on the other. It looks more like a Pixel than an iPhone. Apple has always been known for its clean and balanced design. Even if you don't like those current camera squares, at least it's symmetrical. This new look seems heavy, it draws attention in a weird way. And unless this bar is hiding some really incredible function, what's the purpose? Changing, just for the sake of changing, isn't very Apple-like. Or is it now? Is Apple out of ideas? Or worse, are they testing us to see how far our loyalty goes?
And speaking of things that don't make sense, let's talk about the materials. After all that advertising last year, saying that titanium was lighter, more resistant, more pro, we find out that, surprise, the iPhone 17 should go back to having aluminum instead of titanium. I read that in the script and I was like, but how so? Wasn't titanium much better? I feel like an idiot for believing all the titanium marketing. It's like Apple is playing with us, launching something premium one year and throwing it away the next. The idea would be to offer more durability and keep it compatible with MagSafe and wireless charging. Technically, that makes sense. A stronger structure with glass only where it's needed. But guys, have you seen the images? It doesn't look premium. The transition between the glass and the aluminum is kind of strange. It doesn't have that continuous and elegant finish that Apple usually delivers. Okay, durability is important, but this phone costs several $1,000s, so it has to have the premium look. It has to look like it costs several $1,000s. Today, the all-glass or all-titanium design is much more sophisticated, and this hybrid look, not so much. It's a downgrade in the finish, and even so, Apple will sell this as a redesign. Honestly, it's more of a light facelift than a revolution. I hope you've subscribed already, huh? Otherwise, Steve Jobs will visit you tonight. And it's true, And the cherry on top, the frustration that consumes me the most, the Face ID under the screen. This was supposed to be a big leap. Apple wanted to launch this on the iPhone 16 Pro, but it was postponed. And now, according to analyst Ross Young, only in 2026. That is, maybe with the iPhone 18 Pro or maybe the iPhone 19 Pro. Who knows? Meanwhile, what do we have? Dynamic Island again on the entire iPhone 17 line. And look, when it launched, I even thought it was cool. It made good use of the space. It replaced the notch. But we're in 2025, and there are Androids out there with full screens, without cutouts, without holes, without Dynamic Island, just screen. It's hard to keep justifying this wait. I understand that Apple prefers to launch something only when it's 100%, but at what point should this caution be called a delay? For me, it's past that point. It's stalling. But let's stop being pessimistic, right? Oh,
no, wait, there's the iPhone 17R, an iPhone that basically nobody asked for. I don't know where brands are getting the idea that everyone wants a thin phone. I think 90% of you watching this video will agree with me. We want more battery. We want a phone that's fluid in everyday use. Easy. We don't want it to reinvent the wheel. Why make a thin phone, man? No. I'm gonna tell you something that's in the rumor there that you're gonna be like, for the love of God, what are people doing? First problem with a thinner phone. It doesn't fit a big battery. This is in the rumor, and I wrote it down, but it's not possible that it will be 2800 milliamp hour on the iPhone 17. If it's only that much, guys, it's a phone that won't last until the end of the day. Then you're gonna say, no, but Apple must have an ace up its sleeve. It's hiding something there for this iPhone to last longer. And then they have the nerve. This is in the rumor, guys. I really hope these people are very wrong. It seems that Apple is going to launch a case that has a battery on the back. This has already happened in the past, right? But okay, the phone is thin and the case is thick. Man, it's not possible. I'm even getting kind of angry. It seems like a joke. The thin phone, you go there, buy a case, and it becomes thicker than the Pro line? No. Hopefully this is a lie. Hopefully when it launches, we come back here and say it was all a lie. Hopefully this is a lie.
To make matters worse, this thin iPhone that nobody wants, I don't know, maybe you want a thin iPhone there, I don't know, but I think most people don't want it. It also doesn't seem like this thinner iPhone will have mono sound. On the iPhone normally, all the ones I know, it's stereo, the sound comes out on the top and bottom. This one would be so thin that maybe the speaker won't fit on the bottom. These are rumors, guys. I also hope that these rumors are wrong on this point because for the love of God, right? And if all that wasn't enough, this iPhone Air or 17R, whatever the name of the abomination, will have a single rear camera with 48 megapixels. For those who cursed the 16E, there you go. Prerequisite. Cursed the iPhone 16E. You can't buy the iPhone 17R. Another point, this iPhone shouldn't have a chip slot. It will be so thin that there won't be room for you to put a chip, so it will only be eSIM, only a virtual chip. Now, to be fair, not everything is a complete disaster. There are a few things that might be worth it. The entire iPhone 17 line should come with 12 gigabytes of RAM. And it's funny, right? Apple has always had less RAM than Androids, and now, because of artificial intelligence, more RAM is needed. Apple realized that 8 gig isn't enough. So this is a good increase. And in the entry-level 17 line, the cheapest one that you'll look at from the back and think it's a 16, right? Because nothing will change. The design will be the same. One good thing, if it arrives, I only believe it at the launch. I only really believe it when I see it. It seems that now it will have a 120 hertz screen with the always-on display function too. Okay, same function that the Pro models have, right? Clearly, it's a function that could already be on older iPhones, but Apple holds back, giving it bit by bit, right? It's the famous, we give you the basics, but only little by little, so you keep buying. Yes, the iPhone 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max will have the new processor, the A19 Pro, which will certainly be more efficient faster. But for your daily tasks, to open social media, even to play games, record videos, edit, the processing difference won't be that big. Translating, even in everyday activities, if you do a benchmark test, the newer processor will be better, of course. But in practice, for the average user, it's practically imperceptible. The processor should be the A19 without being the Pro model, in the same way that it was in the 16 and 16 Pro line, which have different processors between them.
And the cameras? Finally, 8K recording on the rear cameras of the Pro and Pro Max models. This rumor has been talked about for a few years. Every year they say it will have 8K, and yes, the iPhone 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max got 4K 120 frames per second in addition to recording in log. What's missing now is the 8K. So this year the rumor is indicating that this will arrive for iPhones, but only for the rear cameras. And it remains to be seen if it will be on all of them or just the main one. Probably only on the main one, like the 120 frames is only on the main rear camera of the 16 Pro. And the telephoto camera should go to 48 megapixels, which should make a big difference in the zoom. More megapixels on this telephoto camera, you'll be able to get closer to a Samsung S25 Ultra. But again, we're catching up to what the competition has been doing for a long time. And the dual recording mode with front and rear cameras at the same time should also arrive. Again, something that Samsung already does on the S24 Ultra. Look, Jobs is watching you. Subscribe because here you'll never miss any information about the Apple world. To be honest, Apple is still living off its glory days, right? Of course, it does things very well, right? The connection between the Mac
And the iPhone with the Apple Watch is perfect. Everything works very well. Everything works much simpler than an Android and a Windows at the same time. It's easier to set up Apple things. It's more practical. This is my opinion here from use. But to say that it's at the same level as before, you're crazy. It seems like Apple's releases have become maintenance updates. They give the shell a little clean, tighten the screws, and that's it. In my opinion, it lacks boldness. It lacks surprise. Where's the wow factor?
Now, prepare your wallet, or rather, your kidneys. The price tends to go up. The iPhone 17 should start around $799 to $899. The iPhone 17 Pro around $999 to $1,099, and the iPhone 17 Pro Max from $199. Compare that to the iPhone 16 Pro, which also starts at $999, and the iPhone 15 Pro, which can be found from $699, used or refurbished models. What do I recommend to you guys? I, particularly, never buy at launch. Always look at the previous models. You'll get something very good, paying a little less. The launch of the 17 line is scheduled for September 2025, usually in the second week, right? And along with the official launch of the iPhone comes the official version of iOS 19. iOS 19 is so much number that we're even going crazy. And iOS 19, the beta version, arrives in early June for developers. Basically, this is a good overview of the rumors with a dose of my opinion. I don't think it will be worth it to upgrade from the 16 Pro to the 17 Pro. And as I said, those who have a 15 Pro are already extremely well off. I think it's a phone that runs everything very smoothly still. I hope you like this video. Comment your indignation for me too, because I don't think it will be worth it. Although there's that thing, right? As the back of the iPhone will be different from afar, you'll know who has the new iPhone. But is that all that justifies it? Will the vanity of having the phone of the year still be worth more than the rationality of saving good money for a product that offers little new? For me, the answer is a resounding no. Apple needs to reinvent itself for real, not just put makeup on the same thing. See you in the next video.